me. Help me.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Wasn't a roly-poly, but I think that was better. Okay, you get the roly-poly too. We're gonna talk about why I didn't like Tears of the Kingdom at the start. Let's go. So, yet again, we're in the wilderness, and this time, it's serious stuff. We need to talk about the new Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and why, for the first few hours, I absolutely hated it. Let's go sit down. I actually feel like this is the perfect location. So yeah, you heard right. I was a little bit disappointed by Tears of the Kingdom after the first few hours of the game.
I'm not loving it. I'm not in love with this game at the minute. I'm not in love with the game just yet.
And I'm not the only person who has the same feelings. A lot of other people have explained this too. Now, the reasons why for me might be completely different for you, or you might have absolutely loved it, but this is why I didn't like it. So the style, I was expecting a completely different style.
Yeah, Mario Odyssey is stunning. I am kind of, yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm unimpressed with the way Zelda looks, but it is weird how they make a lot of other games so much more, I don't know, like pretty maybe?
To the Breath of the Wild, which is ridiculous for me to want because it is the second game to Breath of the Wild. I thought I would be thrown into the world of exploration with some sort of direction. Instead, I felt myself like wandering around the place for no reason, not knowing where I'm going, with no guidance.
Wait, I have no idea what I'm doing.
That was extremely stressful and overwhelming. And I kind of felt like I was playing, I guess, a harder version of Breath of the Wild.
It's a lot more frustrating than Breath of the Wild.
Which I know is gonna really piss some people off to hear. So I kind of felt like I was overwhelmed by the game for a lot of the time because there was so much to do. And because I was thrown in it with no direction, I thought, oh my God, this is the most overwhelming game I've ever played. And it wasn't. I mean, I've played Elden Ring for God's sake. I was used to the relaxed vibe of Zelda games. For nostalgic reasons, I was definitely overwhelmed. And at the start, I just felt like I wasn't getting anywhere. Bosses, the enemies were just really, really hard. And I feel like that was partly my fault because I wasn't going around to the shrines and I kind of didn't follow a guide. I was just roaming the world and I felt like I was absolutely getting nowhere. For the first 5 hours of Breath of the Wild, I thought, wow, I'm really getting nowhere. What's the point?
What the hell am I?
And I think I got to a point where I was like 10 hours in and I still felt like I was getting absolutely fripping nowhere. Like I was just wandering around this empty-ish land with nothing to do. Or I was doing things, but those things weren't getting me anywhere. And also it was just really hard to survive. And that was partly my fault because I wasn't going around the shrines. So I'm the loser in this story, to be fair. After realizing that I have to go around the shrines, get more hearts, build things up, spend a little bit more time in the game instead of playing Genshin Impact, change over to Zelda, I finally now, I'm feeling like I'm getting somewhere. And these are things that I love about the game. And I'm also gonna talk about some things that I guess wish were different as well. But let's change scenery, because look, I'm in this beautiful place and we can go anywhere and look around, so let's go. So yeah, as I was saying, I kind of feel like I am slowly falling in love with the game. And sometimes it takes a few hours before you can, the birds are too loud. Sometimes it takes a few hours before you can get fully stuck into a game. But with this Tears of the Kingdom, it feels like I'm playing a single player game, but also a multiplayer game at the same time. Does that make sense? And for someone who is obsessed with single player games and loves playing games on my own, it's kind of a big deal to me because I'm playing this game on my own, but everyone in the world is playing it. So we have the whole community support, and on top of that, it kind of feels like we're all playing this one game together, but all doing different things. The game is so customizable that you can play it how you want to play it, and that's like a proper open world RPG. This feels like an extremely open world game, and the thing that frustrated me in the first place is what I'm absolutely falling in love with, because everyone is able to do different things but play the same game and communicate together. Again, it's like we're playing this single player game in co-op mode, and I think that's what's really special about this game. They've definitely put a lot of thought into it, and you can understand why they've taken so long to make it, because I finally understand why it's kind of a masterpiece. So yeah, I was kind of really wrong about the game. And now let's talk about the world, because I thought the world was completely empty at the start, and it kind of was to begin with in the tutorial. I expected a lot more, and again, that's due to my expectations. I feel like Nintendo fans, we expect a lot and we don't give Nintendo a chance sometimes. So the world. The world was extremely empty to begin with, in my opinion, and that is because we did have so much to learn.
Do you think this is Game of the Year, seriously? I'm not sold yet. I'm enjoying it, I'm not in love.
And if I just let my ADHD brain just understand that you have to persevere, and this is a long tutorial because there's so much to learn, then I would have understood, like, yeah, this is gonna get really good. And once you pass the tutorial stage, things get really relaxing, the world becomes so much better, and there's so much to it. There's different elements to explore, different shrines, different characters, different ways to forage, and things get a little bit more easier once you persevere as well. So I did think the world was extremely empty, but that's because obviously it was the tutorial, and I kind of wasn't expecting the tutorial to be as long as it was. Again, I had literally no patience in terms of this game.
I'm so sick of falling in this game.
Once passing the tutorial, I was absolutely amazed by the diversity and the open world of this game. You are literally, again, playing the same game but differently, because it is so diverse and you can do so many different things. It's so exciting. You can finish this game in a few hours, or you can spend 300 hours in this game. That's the thing. There is so much to do, and you're never going to get bored once you pass that wretched tutorial. And this isn't my full review. This is just why I was incredibly wrong about... Shut up. Yeah, as I was saying, this isn't my full review. This is just why I was incredibly wrong about the game. I don't feel like I am there enough or valid enough to do a review just yet, because I'm so not foreign enough. I've not completed enough shrines. I have raged a lot though, and I feel like this is the first Zelda game that made me rage so much. The fall damage.
I am so sick of falling on this game.
At the start was the most annoying but funny thing I've ever seen. And what I found really interesting is when I was playing with my Twitch chat, people were telling me how to do certain things, because I'm completely fine with backseat gaming, and I was finding my own way to do them, and they were working. Again, the fact that this game is so customizational and you can play it however you want. There's not just a certain path you can follow. Of course there is, which will be in the tutorial. It's what I think is so amazing about the game, because I can just be like, no, I don't want to do it your way. I want to do it my way, and it works. So my personal preference with an open world game is like quite a chilled out game where you can do what you want to do. You can explore, you can forage, you can cut down trees, you can beat enemies, you can open up other parts of the map, and I feel like you can get very easily overwhelmed with this game, so you have to take things easy. I've actually started writing things down that I want to do in my Notion, so I want to spend a few hours foraging, then doing a few shrines, upping my hearts, and doing what I kind of want to do. And I think this is like a true open world experience, maybe even more so than Breath of the Wild. I feel like we compare a lot of games to their first game, and that was my issue, because I was comparing a completely different game to the first game and expecting the same, when really we've been given so much more. Like Nintendo has given us so much more to do with this game. I mean, the fact that we can go through the roof is the most satisfying thing ever. And the working out puzzles has never been so fun once you understand how to do it. Also, I've gone from like kind of using PlayStation controls, mouse and key controls, to using my Pro controller, and I'm still getting used to Pro Controller controls, which is so weird because I'm so used to playing with Joy-Cons. So that's another thing that made me rage about the game. So overall, my experience with TOC has been like this. Because at the start I was like, oh, I just want to get the tutorial over with, but you really need to persevere because you're learning things that you need. Like, you need to like concentrate through this tutorial, because if you don't, you're gonna have no idea what to do. So I persevered and got through that, and I can understand why people have issues about the game at the start, but once you get through the tutorial, it's up from there. The world becomes so much more immersive and beautiful. There's so many different things to look at in the game. So I just want to say, yeah, that's my opinion so far. If you want to check out my gameplay, I will be adding it on my gameplay channel, which is like my chopped up bits from Twitch, or you can come watch me live on Twitch. But yeah, if you do want a full review, let me know, but I'm not going to be able to do that, a full review, for a few months, because I don't feel like you can complete the game in 30 hours and give a full review of a game like this. And that's just me being honest. Sorry if you've done that, no shade, no tea, but I don't personally feel like anyone can finish this in 30 hours and give a full review. I'm sorry. Anyway, on that note, I'm gonna go play. I'll see you guys later. We can't leave it out there. Cyberhugs. Lovely.